Resisting Tyranny, Part 31, The Evil Regime Has No Credibility, Sifeng, July 12, 2025. The evil regime is utterly untrustworthy. It lies at will, deceiving not only its own people, but also the international community. From top to bottom, dishonesty runs through every level of government. It breaks contracts, disregards promises, and fills the air with empty slogans. Every verbal or written pledge is a lie, crafted to deceive the world. Even the constitution it created is nothing but a worthless scrap of paper. The regime tramples it with impunity, acting entirely above the law. Let us set aside the regime's long history of broken promises. Just look at the current state of society, and the tragedies caused by its utter lack of credibility become painfully clear. Do you know why the United States has imposed economic sanctions on China? Why it's strangling China's key industries and technologies? Why foreign capital and companies are fleeing the country? Why university graduates can't find jobs? Why the economy keeps sliding downward while waves of private enterprises, large and small, shut down and go bankrupt? Why over 100 million Chinese citizens are burdened with debt? Why the government continues to increase its stability maintenance budget and intensify its grip on society? The root cause of all this is one and the same: the regime has no credibility. Let's take just one example: China's accession to the World Trade Organization, WTO. On December 11, 2001, China officially joined the WTO, pledging to follow its rules. Foreign capital poured in. Foreign invested enterprises sprang up across the country like mushrooms after rain. China entered an era of booming economic growth. Skyscrapers rose, factory machines roared, cities buzzed with life. China sped into the fast lane of development, leaping to become the world's manufacturing giant and the second largest economy. Overnight, the poor man became a nouveau riche. Drunk on power, the regime felt second place was beneath it, full of resentment and frustration. It began arm wrestling the United States, pushing to internationalize the renminbi, RMB, and challenge the dollar's dominance. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, it sought to edge America out of markets, while promoting the notion of a shared future for humankind, in essence, a grand illusion designed to justify its ambition of ruling the world. There's nothing wrong with ambition. The real problem was that after its rapid rise, the evil regime began ignoring the very rules it had promised to follow. It didn't simply say no, it stalled. Pledges meant to be fulfilled within 2 or 3 years were dragged out for 8, 10, or even more, and still left undone. Take one example. China had promised to lift restrictions on foreign banks within 5 years of joining the WTO. What happened? Not only did it fail to deliver within 5 years, more than 20 years have passed, and how many foreign banks can freely operate in China today? The regime imposed restrictions, such as capping foreign ownership at 20%. How are foreign banks supposed to function under such conditions? Why? Because the regime broke its promises and violated the very commitments it made to the WTO. Of the 29 obligations China agreed to upon joining the WTO, 18 remained unfulfilled as of 2019. Many of these were supposed to be completed within 2 or 3 years. But the regime kept stalling, refusing to follow through. Naturally, this drew the attention and dissatisfaction of other WTO members, especially the United States, leading to economic retaliation, such as the trade war. The regime once proclaimed, "The people's desire for a better life is our goal." And yet, those who truly pursue a better life are branded as heretics or members of illegal organizations. Countless financial and investment firms were backed by the regime itself. Ordinary citizens, seeing this government endorsement, placed their trust in these firms and boldly invested their savings. But when these companies collapsed or their controllers ran off with the money, people's hard-earned savings vanished. Not only did the government refuse to compensate them, it cracked down on their collective protests and appeals. The regime showed no accountability. Investors wept in silence. One woman, having lost everything, ended her life. Before she died, she left a note for her son: "In the next life, never be born Chinese." Yes, in an era ruled by tyranny, Being Chinese means living in helplessness, sorrow, and humiliation, stripped of dignity and denied the right to be fully human.